Good evening. I'm back again to elaborate on or continue on our topic last week. Again, this is Prison to Purpose, and my goal is to leave you all with something that can help all of us better someone else, so to speak. Today, our topic is peer pressure. And like I elaborated last week on peer pressure, introduced peer pressure. Peer pressure can be two forms, a positive and a negative. We want to stay in tune with the positive. Negative led me down the path that I went down, which landed me in prison, serving 21 years. The things that hindered my progression in life in a good way, that was the negative peer pressure. And I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on that towards the end of this video. But I just want to point out, that we must be mindful of how we treat others. It's vital this day and time. It is so important that we be mindful of how we look at others, how we speak to others, how we conversate with others. It is important because one can have an intent to do something positive, but it can come out, it can be perceived by the receiving party as negative. So we still have to be mindful of that as well. Now, peer pressure is so keen, and a lot of us think that, that only happens to teenagers or youth, and that is so far from the truth. If the truth be told, we have the most dire aspects of peer pressure taking place at the workplace, so to speak. You have so many of these workplaces, I don't care where you work at, that peer pressure is like it's all over the place, because you have adults that act like children day in and day out, and prime example, a supervisor can ask you to do something, and the way they ask you to do it, everyone perceives it to be, oh man, you let them talk to you like that, and especially when it's a supervisor that got promoted from within, because it can be perceived that this supervisor is really abusing their authority. So now, and does it happen? All the time, because not everyone is equipped to be in a leader or supervisor role. And that's another thing that we have to do, is learn how to stay in our lane. But back to the topic at hand, when these people or co-workers get in our ear as it relates to what the supervisor just ordered you to do, truth be told, just do it. And, the way you beat anything negative is with something positive. The way you, with your sarcasm and all that, but you kill them with kindness. And if you're a hard worker, it's gonna pay off. It's easier said than done. And I'm a prime example, because a lot of times I find myself in these situations by working in the post office, because whether the supervisor being younger, whether the supervisor being cocky, arrogant, whatever the case may be, you find yourself. And for me, what works for me is a silent prayer. That might not do it for you. So you have to find what is it that will allow you to maneuver when you are being affected, by a direct order, so to speak, without feeding into the negative that's coming from left field. The negative that's coming from left field is them co-workers that's in your ear about you should cuss them out, you should do this, you should do that, all negative. When it's the one co-worker that's giving you something positive, them the ones we don't listen to. That one is like, well, do it, but do it in a way where it's going to make everyone look good. It's going to be a win-win situation for everybody, but they're going to know that it came from you because that supervisor didn't even know how to do it themselves. But instead of saying that or asking you to assist them with it, they directed you. I'm giving you a direct order to do this. I'm mandating you to do this. You did it, but you still with attitude. And it's common. Another example is, and this is with our children, the youth, when they on a bus ride going to school, and this happens so often. I'm not going to tap into the bullying aspect because I'm going to get into that. That's my topic for next week, bullying. But, the peer pressure is so prevalent with the youth. That's where it starts. A lot of us get older mentally and age-wise, but we don't mature with that age, if that makes sense. We have grown, I got grown friends that's 50 and 60 years old, and I've been around youth that's 16 and 17 that act older than them or more mature than them. That's a story for another day as well. But when these kids are on these buses and, some minding their business, some, want to be the class clown. I mean, because we all been there and done that. You have one kid that what we call gassing them up, gassing another up to do something to one that's weaker, more quieter, more subdued, whatever the case may be. You have one individual, whether it's a young lady or a young man, and they into themselves. They might be preparing for a test, anything, but because they're not partaking in everything that's going on in the back of the bus, now here we go. You got one, oh, look at them, they think they better than us. They this, they that, they this, they that. So now the one that's the agitator, that's the one that's going to initiate the peer pressure, is going at the one that always is the outgoing, the one that's the risk taker, the one that's the troublemaker, the one that don't have a problem getting in trouble. And they get in his or her ear. So now they pursue the quiet one because they fed into this aspect of peer pressure. And the one up there, they really trying to ignore, but they don't know how to deal with it because, first of all, they're young. And if us as parents not teaching, our kids how to deal with peer pressure bullying, they're not going to know what to do when they encounter these situations. But we must, as adults, learn ourselves how to deal with them. And I'm hoping that something I say in this message will give you an answer. I don't have all the answers. I'm like you, are striving, but I experienced a lot in some of these topics that I'm bringing to you, like peer pressure, that I'm hoping that something stirs up an answer. Something, allows the light bulb to go off in your head whenever in a situation like this. This is how I can deal with that, without even saying it, or you in a dilemma with one of your children. You already have something that you can give them to deal with the situation at hand. Now, when this child, is involved in this encounter with the person that's invading their space, so to speak, they may still continue to ignore, and God willing, someone else intervenes. A lot of times that used to be me back in the day, just because and I've been on all sides, but that might be me, or that might be you, where you step up and not allow that to take place, or leave them alone. They minding their business, they getting ready for the test, whatever the case may be, without them even having to come up with a solution. Now, sometime in that situation, the solution may be just to ignore or to yell out to get the attention of others, like the bus driver or an attendant that might be on the bus. I haven't been on a bus in years, and my seeds are grown, so I really don't know if they have attendance on the bus. But some of these things we have to equip our children with, so they'll be prepared to deal with such people as the people that's coming, because they're the perpetrator. The ones that's applying the peer pressure are the birds, so to speak. They the ones that do all the tweeting, the gas someone up. They don't have the heart. They don't have the courage to do it. Like in prison, we call them cell gangsters. When they behind bars, they yell out and scream, and they gonna do this, that, and the other, not knowing the guard getting ready to open the cells. So when the cell get open and then you approach them, now they put their head down and I ain't mean it. Like they talking to you, no eye contact, nothing. They putting their head down. I ain't mean it like that, yo. It was like this, and so it's a way to deal with people like that. And sometimes, do it take aggression to subdue aggression? Sometimes it does, but it's a way to finesse that aggression without it escalating to something else. So now for me, I've experienced all of them. I've met the task at hand with aggression when aggression came my way, and it was subdued. Do I know how to finesse? Surely do. If I didn't, I wouldn't have survived 21 years in prison. So when you're in a situation like that, especially with me in the workplace, like I said, first thing I do is I say a silent prayer. I know that I still have to lead by example, because I'm trying to get this word out to a lot of you guys that we don't have to resort to what we resorted to or relied on, in our past, because our past allowed us to go down slippery slopes, so to speak. And that's when we go down them slippery slopes, that's all negative. And what we got out of that was negative, was years and years, Father God. So I get caught up so quickly in the word, but we go down these slopes, and if we don't have, like I have a relationship with God, that's how it's so easy for me to slip and go right into a prayer, because I do it frequently. That is what saves me. That's what cultivates, what molds me into the person that I become. And it's exciting for me, and I'm trying to share that with you, but that might not be what do it for you. I'm trying to give you tools to equip yourself with for these situations. Now, before I end, I want to always, every week, after every topic, I'm going to leave you with three things, that's going to be what I consider three tools that you can contemplate on, you can reflect on, whether it be after this show or later on during the week or sometime in life. When, you see, encounter, hear of, you'll reflect on, what? When Brother Cleveland was mentioning, from prison to purpose, going into one of the points is like right here. Always come from a place of love. When dealing with peer pressure, we have to, because we're always looked at. It's almost like my introduction last week when I talked about, me finding a mentor. My mentor was a notorious drug dealer, and all of us don't realize that we are mentors. So we have to be mindful of this. So going to my first point, always come from a place of love. We have to do that because we never know who's watching, so to speak, and that is so powerful within itself, just to be an influence to someone else, to be a help to someone else in their time of need. You don't even know that they're dealing with peer pressure. You don't know they're dealing with depression. You don't know, and I just come from a place of love. That's all I'm asking. I want you to reflect on that, and whatever that means to you, so be it. 2 would be watch what you like. Watch what you like. Now, what I mean by that is going back to this drug dealer. I watched him. And when I watched him, that's who I wanted to become. Now, when people look at you, who do they see? What reflection are you making? I'm talking about the generations to come. What reflection are you making in their eyes? Are you a police? Are you a lawyer? Are you a drug dealer? Are you a stick-up kid? Do you work on Wall Street? Are you a banker? What is it that you're doing, that will allow them to say, I want to be like them? Because you are a mentor, whether you want to be it or not, whether you want to admit to it or not. And you are being watched by someone, whether it be someone of your same age, bracket, younger or older. You are being watched. So that number 2, again, is watch what you like. Number 3, and this is very, very important, watch what you say. Watch what you say. Biblically, the tongue can make and break us. Watch what you say. If you speak negativity, what happens? Negativity enters your life. If you speak positively, then what happens is it's nothing but good by the grace of God. Watch what you say. And the thing is, I remember, and I had to write this down because Maya Angelou once said, people always remember, well, no, not always. How was it? People, or they may not always remember what you say, but how you made them feel. Now, that is very, very deep. It's deep because I can say something right now, and you only gonna pick out or observe what's dear to you. You're gonna grab on to something, and that something is gonna be the only thing that, well, this is me. Yeah. Everything else, that's you it's like doing a floor. If you know anything about waxing, stripping, or putting floors together, it's like whitewashing. I don't need that. This is what I need. This the me, because this is me. It's almost like going to church or going to Juma, wherever you go to get your word from. It's gonna be something in there, and you be like, man, they talking to me. So that's what we have to do. We have to watch what we say because we're being watched. And I'm not speaking to, some of my comrades that's been in prison before, because, we had an old saying, that we're always being watched. And not just people that's in prison behind bars, but people that's out here in prison, because it's a thing out here where it's saying that we're always being watched. By who? The government. Big Brother program. That's a whole nother ballgame. We're not going to get political. But remember, we're always being watched by someone, and if you pay attention to, kids, just think about it. A baby. When a baby is born, oh man, them are the most adorable days, times of our life or their life. But what is happening when they're first brought home? They just looking around, observing their surroundings, and that's what they become. Their habits, become the things that we throw out. They want to eat like we eat. They want to watch what we watch. They want to talk like we talk, even though they're not ready yet. But as soon as they start talking, as soon as they start walking, it's always a reflection of something that we've done around them. Just think about it. So as I get ready to close, remember, always come from a place of love, 1. 2, watch what you like. 3, and watch what you say. Always, always. This is something that I live by, I stand by, and I'm a man that believes in be what you say and mean what you say. I came in peace. I end in peace. Have a blessed day.